So that says 120 Fahrenheit. That's too hot to do anything but drink beer. So I'm taking shelter in the shop, and what we're going to do here is I'm going to make an electrical junction box for the van. So essentially this is what is used as a trailer box for semis. They'll wire all their light wires into here, grounds and whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a bunch of power wires, a couple, 3, not sure yet, but grounds. I'm going to hook this directly to the battery. What I got to do now is make one power line coming in, and then jumpers to these. And what I'll do is this will be powered, and if I want to run an accessory, like I had to put in a washer pump, I'll wire it direct to this with a fuse and a switch, and this is going to be the main power source instead of crawling underneath the dashboard. And you know, the fuse box is not the most convenient place on this van, so this is going to make it simpler. And I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to mount it, but I'm thinking it's going to go where the current washer tank is. If I can get this in there, and then the replacement washer tank that comes with the kit, which is quite a bit smaller, if I can get it on that bracket, that mount there, then we'll go with that. But in the meantime, let's do this. So I want to get this camera here so we can see it. There. All right, so essentially pretty simple stuff. I got my wire. It's going to be my ground wire, power. You can use this for the power wires. Got my wire cutters, snips, strippers, and then a kit of connectors. So all I got to do here is make a little bit of room for everything. And the first thing that's going to happen here is I'm going to unravel this wire. Now, incidentally, I do this on all my vehicles. I run the power wire off the battery, and then I run, you know, in case of my Camaro or my Beaumont, I run fuel pump off of that, the fans, whatever, right? I just take the wire, the power off of this. I have them either in the trunk or both a trunk mounted battery, so I have them this mounted by the trunk, and then I believe I still have one mounted in the engine compartment as well, or underneath the dashboard. I can't quite remember. Because once it's in there, you're not doing anything. You're not using it, right? You get everything mounted, and you just kind of hope you sort of semi remember where you a mess. Anyhow, I'm going to start here. So this wire is going to come through here, and I'm going to plug it into there. So I'm going to leave a long enough lead. I don't know how long I'm going to need here, and I might have to splice because I'm not 100% sure where I'm putting this. So we'll do that. Put this over here, get it out of the way, strip it. And I'm going to use, that fits, yes, so I'm going to use these blue connectors. So pretty simple stuff here. Good, so that's going to go here and out. Now these are block offs. You got open and blocked off. So this is going to be open. What you can do, what I think I'm going to do, is put a a blanked one here. Just cut a hole, poke a hole through it, and then run the wire, and that way it's sealed. And any port you're not using, basically that goes in there, seals it. Seals it, and all I really need here are I just need one blank, because I'm going to run both wires through here for the ground. But let's do the that way moisture and dirt crap doesn't get in there. This is just a little bit cleaner. Do this in such a way I don't. Now if you're running a loom or heavy wires, like a number of wires, these here go on and that clamps it, and that locates it, but I'm not gonna be doing that. So essentially, got a washer, a nut, and you screw it down. Now I have to get a socket for this. Now we're going to jump from here. So I don't really need to tighten this down yet until I got all the okay, so now basically just going to do this. Go like that. Okay, so like that. And then loop it as such. And we do that again. Drill bit and a drill. And I'm just doing this to try and keep it clean. Feed this through. And now we've got a watertight junction box The lid goes like that. Just like that. These two go on there. This is plastic, so you don't want to go too tight. Snug. There. So now we've got a sealed unit here. Then when I run other wires through, I'll probably run them through here, like for accessories, or on this side. So that's it for that. Now I'm going to go and have a beer. We'll catch up when I find a place to put this thing. All right, I've got my washer kit here. Let's just open this up and see what we're dealing with. So there's the tank pump bracket on there. Here you got the wiring. Let's see what's in here. Make sure we got view. There we go. That's better. So we've got the plug for here. So that goes like that. Switch to go on the dash. We've got a T. Straight connector. Got two nozzles. Got little rubber gaskets. We got nuts that I think that's what these are for. Okay, got the bracket for holding the switch. And yeah, various other stuff. Not sure exactly. The rubber hose for the nozzles comes off of here and then would branch out. So it has everything but instructions. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to bench test this. So in other words, I'm going to rig it up. I'm just going to use one nozzle, but I'm going to rig it up to power. And through the switch. And I'll use this. And then I've got my battery pack here, which I'll use for power for my 12-volt source. And that's good. Okay. So yeah, let's. I'm gonna get this set up here, and then we'll come back, and then we'll test it. Okay, so I got this hooked up. Essentially, runs power from here to the switch. Switch goes into the harness here. Ground goes there, and then the washer line hose goes on the bottom there. And let's see if it works here. I just got the, oh, holy shit. Okay, that works pretty good. Okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a $20 kit and you never know what you get, and I don't want to go and install all this to find out nothing works. So we know it works, it's all good. Next step here is to get it mounted on the van here. So that I got to do some figuring out. So we'll catch up when I get to it. Okay, so here's the plan of attack for mounting this. What I'm going to do here is I've already got this piece of steel metal here. I'm going to an existing hole right here, so I'm going to use that. I'll drill a hole, drill another one here. I'm going to use a nutsert like that. I'll install that, and then we'll bolt this here. This is going to go here and wire direct to the battery over there. So just got to hit the drill press here, drill a couple of holes, and then yeah, go from there. Okay, so this is on. I'm going to drill a hole here. I'm going to do it in steps, so I'm going to go with a smaller drill bit and then go up to this one. I may have to bore this plate out. So now, nothing is under there. Okay, so I got it drilled out. It's a little large, but should still do the trick. So the trick with this is you screw the zert onto your mandrel here. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze this, and what it does is it squeezes on the inside underneath here and creates a good tight fit. So sometimes you have to do it in stages, but let's see here. It's supposed to come out, but there. Okay. So that's going to go like that. One in there. So and that I'm not going to tighten down because it's coming off. This is going to go here. So we'll mark this. Hopefully that wasn't a butt shot, because I promise not. I'm going to do there and there. And we'll go and drill that, mount that, and then this thing is done. Then eventually I'm going to trim this out. Kind of cut this here, but or, you know, just cut it on the, cut these bolts, these holes out. We'll cut it along there, round the edges off, just make it look a little bit better. Okay, so we'll get this out. One thing with these trucks is some fasteners that this year, 79, whatever, they started using metric. Some fasteners are metric, some are standard. So you need a kit that's got both, and I guarantee you, no matter which bolt you're going socket you get or wrench you get, it's going to be wrong. So go drill this out, and we'll get back here. Okay, so we're going to drill this out. I'm using my step bed here, and I decided I'm going to use nut certs on this too. Just for ease of removal. So it's just a matter of getting the perfect. We'll do this. Okay, good. So we'll do that. Go over to my bench where I have a little bit more room here. Okay, so you can get an idea as to how a nut zert works. Again, screw that on. This goes in. And you can see right here where it's squeezing in. So you give it the full grip and then you're good to go. And that should screw it out. There. So these are real handy and make things nice and clean, and you're not using the sheet metal screws, which are okay, but I think this is a cleaner kind of thing. Not that I'm meticulous about detail on everything, but I got the things, I'm going to use them. Okay. Okay, let's clean that up a touch. Again. So I'm going to put this in the vise here. A little tight there. So sometimes you have to adjust so you get enough grip. You have to adjust where the nut zert is on the mandrel, because you need, depending on how big your hands are and how strong your grip is. There. Perfect. Perfect, I hope. There we go. Now, let's mount this box to here. Get a couple bolts. All right, so a couple bolts here. This is gonna go this way, I believe. There, and there, and okay, so let's go put this on this van. Okay, so this goes under. That'll go there. We'll put this in now. This thread's pissing me off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap that, clean that thread up. So give me a sec here. Okay, I got my tap, a little bit of lube here. And this is just to clean up the threads. Still a little tight, but it's better. Okay, so get that in. At least it goes in. Go nice and loose. Done. It's on there good and tight. So again, I'm just going to trim this. I'll do that later. I'm in any hurry to mess around with that right now. Don't want to make a huge amount of noise here. Okay, I'm going to clean this up, and we're going to run the wires over to the battery. Okay, so I came up a little short on the wires, so I'm going to these butt connectors here, or not, yeah, not butt connectors, whatever you call these. I think that's a butt connector. And I'm going to extend these out to where I need them, and then I'll get the battery hooked up here. So now I am going to use some shrink wrap on here because this will be exposed. Not the complete one here. And okay, that's a little long, so we'll chop that a touch here. Okay. And I'll just grab my torch and we'll shrink that tube there. Okay. That's good there. We'll do the same on the ground. Okay, got my shrink wrap. This gauge is just a little too big for these blue connectors, but there we go. I'll heat this up. good. And we'll measure these out to, that's probably going to be fine like that. This one here will cut, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some loom. I'll feed it through here and then hook it up to the battery. Okay, so I'm going to connector on here for the ground. I'm going to use shrink wrap. I'll heat that up once I get the power positive. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to wire this, hook it to the batteries, and when I'm done, we'll see what the finished project looks like. Okay, so change of plans. Instead of using the factory bolts like this going into the battery, which I don't particularly care much for, I use a, and as I've done on my other cars, where I've used the side post or that style battery connector as opposed to the clamp. As I thread in a 3/8 bolt, what I'm going to do here is we'll grab the positive one since that's closest. If you can see this, and run the wire like that. And this like so. Then through the battery cable into the battery. I suspect the threads into the battery here are a little on the weak side because this here is all mangled up. Let's just make sure this goes in. Okay. I have to work to clean these up a touch. There we go. Okay, so that's good. I'm just going to thread that in. Clean it up. Here, I'm going to get a ratcheting wrench. Okay, so here's kind of what we're dealing with. You can see here. When you do this, you can't get at the nut. Okay, I'm just showing you on the negative cable here. So what I did for the positive side is I cut part of the plastic rubber around there, so now I got access to that nut and I can tighten her down. So this is how it's going to work. Then if you have to boost or you have to charge something or you got to do something here, it's way easier to access it than trying to get cables, booster cables on these little things. So that just goes in tight. Okay, so the same process. Cut the rubber, just use a utility knife. The negative cable. keep looking at the camera because the camera keeps shutting off on me without warning. Okay, same process. Just cut a little bit off the rubber. That goes in like that. And then you just thread that into the battery. Like such. It's tight. And then we will get a 9/16 wrench. Using a shorter one here because I don't have much room. Now, I want to try and keep these together. Oh. There. Tight. So that's basically it. I'm going to clean up, put the loom on here, and then this will be done. So, see you in a sec. Okay, now just to test this before I button it all up and make sure I did it right. Got my test light here. It's pretty bright out, but got light, 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 light. So those are all power, those are grounds. Try that, make sure. Good, good, good. And that other's done fine. Good, good, good. Okay, so button this up for now. Okay, that's it for this project. The next one's going to be getting that washer system on here. Got to figure out where I'm going to put it. So we'll catch up when that happens. And the battery's almost dead, so good timing. Okay, so this is it. Installed module. As I say, I got to clean this up here. I may or may not, whatever. Not that important. A little bouncy, but that's okay. It's not going to go anywhere. Got my loom and then going into the battery here.